It's a brand new year, and suddenly, one word is everywhere again. Checks. You hear it at the grocery store, you hear it at church, you see it in group chats, comment sections, and late-night videos that promise answers no one else is giving you. People are whispering, asking, hoping. Is the government really sending out money again? Are stimulus checks back? Did something change quietly while no one was looking? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Yes, people are talking about checks. But no, it's not what most people think. And that confusion right there is dangerous. Not because people are foolish, but because hope mixed with stress can make even smart, careful people rush into decisions they later regret. Worse, it can open the door to scams that steal peace, savings, and trust all at once. So before the rumors get any louder, let's slow this moment down. Not with fear, not with politics, just with clarity. For many Americans, especially seniors and families living on fixed incomes, the idea of government checks feels like oxygen. Prices keep climbing, groceries cost more, prescriptions cost more, repairs cost more, insurance never seems to go down. So when someone says, "Don't worry, checks are coming," it's natural to want to believe it. It feels like relief might finally be on the way. But here's the problem. Right now, several very different financial conversations are being blended together and labeled as one big thing. Social media shortens it. Headlines exaggerate it. People repeat what they hear without the details. And before you know it, everyone believes the federal government is quietly mailing out stimulus checks again. That simply isn't true. What's actually happening is quieter, more complicated, and far less dramatic than the rumors suggest. And once you understand that, the noise starts to fade. A big part of this confusion comes from how the word checks is being used. When most people hear that word, they imagine new money, extra money, help that didn't exist before. But most of what people are hearing about right now is not new money at all. It's refunds. A tax refund is not a gift. It's not a reward. It's not a stimulus. It's simply money that belonged to you already. You paid more into the system than you owed, and now that excess is being returned. That's it. Nothing magical happened. No special program was created just for this moment. Because of changes in tax rules and how money is withheld throughout the year, many people may see refunds that look larger than expected. And when that money arrives, it can feel like a blessing. It can help catch up on bills, cover medical costs, repair a car, or simply allow you to breathe again. But it's important to say this clearly. That refund is not extra money. It's your own money coming back. Another reason the rumors are spreading is because some people are noticing slightly larger paychecks. They tell friends, "The government is giving us more now." What's really happening is lower withholding. The IRS is taking less money out during the year, which means you see more now instead of waiting for it at tax time. There's no free money being created. It's just a timing shift. More now usually means less later. Bigger paychecks often lead to smaller refunds. It balances out. And then there are the online conversations, interviews, proposals, discussions about possible future relief programs. These ideas get mentioned, debated, quoted, and reshaped. By the time they reach social media, they sound like guaranteed checks that are already approved and on the way. But proposals are not programs. Conversations are not policies. Until something is officially passed, clearly explained, and publicly announced, it does not exist as a benefit you can count on. Right now, what most people are hearing about is a mix of refunds, adjustments, and speculation, not stimulus. And that distinction matters more than most people realize. When the word stimulus is used, it brings back memories of the pandemic years. Real checks, real legislation, clear rules, public announcements, money sent out to help families survive an emergency. That is not what's happening now. Real stimulus programs do not arrive quietly. They don't spread through rumors. They don't show up as mystery links in text messages. They don't require strangers online to unlock them for you. If real stimulus were coming, you wouldn't have to guess. You wouldn't need to wonder if it's real. It would be everywhere, and it would be clear. So if you hear someone confidently saying, the government is sending stimulus again, but they can't point to an official source, that's your sign to pause. Hope is powerful. But hope built on confusion leads to disappointment. The healthiest way to think about this moment is simple. Yes, refunds may arrive. Yes, paychecks may feel slightly larger. Yes, discussions about future programs will continue. But none of this should be treated like guaranteed surprise money. Managing expectations protects more than your wallet. It protects your peace. And that brings us to something most people never talk about. Honestly. When refunds arrive, they rarely feel like abundance. They feel like relief. For many seniors, that money doesn't create new possibilities. It fixes old problems. It catches life back up to where it was supposed to be. A refrigerator finally gets repaired. A car stops limping along. A medical bill gets paid down. Groceries get restocked without anxiety. Refunds don't usually move people ahead. They close gaps. And calling that stimulus sets people up for disappointment. Stimulus sounds like growth. Refunds are maintenance. Understanding this doesn't make you pessimistic. It makes you prepared. And preparation matters, especially as we move into the most dangerous part of this conversation, the scams. Whenever there is confusion around government money, scammers move fast. They always do. They watch the headlines. They listen to rumors. And the moment people start hoping for relief, the scams explode. Text messages arrive that look official. Emails use government logos. Voices on the phone sound calm, polite, even helpful. They use words like urgent, final notice, and time-sensitive benefit. They tell you a check is waiting. They say you qualify for thousands of dollars. All you have to do is click a link, confirm your information, or pay a small processing fee. And here's the truth that cannot be said enough times. The federal government does not work this way. The government does not text you out of the blue to claim money. The IRS does not ask for banking information through random links. No legitimate agency asks you to pay money to receive money. Scammers rely on one thing: pressure. They want you to act before you think, before you verify, before you ask someone you trust. They know that many seniors feel embarrassed asking questions. They know people don't want to miss out. They know confusion makes people vulnerable. That's why slowing down is your greatest defense. If you receive a message that feels rushed, threatening, or confusing, stop. Don't click. Don't respond. Breathe. Legitimate programs do not disappear overnight. Real benefits don't vanish because you waited a day. If something is real, it will still be there tomorrow, clearly explained through official channels. Ask a family member. Call your bank. Speak with your tax preparer. Go directly to official websites by typing them yourself, not by clicking links sent to you. And if someone makes you feel foolish for asking questions, that is your signal to walk away. Trust does not rush you. Trust explains. You work too hard for your savings to lose them to confusion? Now let's talk about what really matters once the noise is stripped away. If refunds aren't stimulus and checks aren't miracles, where should your focus be? The answer is not exciting, but it is powerful. Stability. When you expect a refund, the smartest thing you can do is plan for it before it arrives. Not emotionally, not with excitement, just calmly. Ask yourself one simple question. What would bring me the most peace? For many people, peace means rebuilding a small emergency cushion, not a huge savings account. Just enough so the next unexpected expense doesn't feel like a crisis. For others, it means paying off the bill that's been sitting on the counter, quietly creating stress every time they walk past it. For some, it means catching up on doctor visits, prescriptions, or dental care that was delayed because money felt tight. This is not failure. This is life. Stabilizing your situation is not a luxury. It's responsible. It's wise. Yet many people feel guilty using refunds this way. They feel pressure to do something fun or meaningful with the money, as if using it to breathe is somehow wrong. But peace matters. A quiet night's sleep is worth more than any purchase that fades in a few weeks. Marketing always whispers, treat yourself. It rarely says, protect yourself. And protection is what allows you to face the future with confidence. If there is money left after stability is restored, that's when you can gently look ahead. A little savings, planning for maintenance, preparing for medical costs, small steps that reduce stress later. There is no shame in caution. There is wisdom in preparation. And wisdom becomes even more important when we step back and look at the bigger picture. This moment isn't just about checks. It's about how we live with uncertainty. There will always be headlines promising relief. There will always be people online speaking with confidence about things that may never happen. That noise can feel overwhelming, especially when money is tight. But clarity creates calm. When you understand what's real and what isn't, your shoulders relax. You stop waiting for miracles and start making steady choices. And steady choices are what carry people through retirement. Not surprises, not rumors, not last-minute rescues. We don't control every policy. We don't control inflation. We don't control the news cycle. But we do control our response. We can choose not to chase rumors. We can choose not to build plans around money that hasn't arrived. We can choose to stay grounded in verified information. That choice protects more than finances. It protects dignity. And that dignity matters more than any check. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: refunds rarely change lives. They restore balance, not abundance. For many seniors, refunds don't feel like celebration. They feel like relief mixed with exhaustion. The money arrives, and within weeks, it's gone. Not because it was wasted, but because it was needed. Life quietly pulls it away. Repairs that couldn't wait. Bills that piled up. Costs that rose faster than income. And that reality is exactly why calling refunds stimulus does harm. It sets expectations that cannot be met. Stimulus suggests forward movement. Refunds simply stop the bleeding. Understanding that difference allows you to approach money with honesty instead of hope built on fantasy. And honesty is powerful. When you stop expecting one check to fix everything, you begin building systems that protect you long term. You plan, you prioritize, you prepare. That doesn't mean life becomes easy. It means it becomes steadier, and steadiness is underrated. Many people believe financial strength comes from big wins. In reality, it comes from small, consistent decisions made calmly over time. That's why ignoring rumors is not pessimism. It's discipline. Rumors push people to delay planning. They make people wait. They convince people that help is coming, so preparation can pause. But waiting is dangerous when life keeps moving. If a real program ever does arrive, you'll hear about it clearly. You won't need decoding. Until then, building stability with what you have is the safest path. And let's be honest about something else. Uncertainty is exhausting. Constantly wondering if help is coming drains energy. It creates emotional whiplash. Hope rises, then crashes. Choosing clarity breaks that cycle. Clarity says, this is what I know. This is what I have. This is what I can control. From that place, decisions become easier. You stop reacting to every headline. You stop feeling pulled in different directions. You regain a sense of control. And control brings peace. That peace is not flashy. It doesn't trend online. But it is priceless, especially as scams continue to evolve. Scammers are getting better. Messages look more official. Language sounds more professional. They prey on loneliness as much as financial stress. That's why verification is no longer optional. It's essential. Any message that creates urgency should be questioned. Any request for personal information should be verified. Any promise of easy money should be treated with skepticism. Caution is not fear. It's wisdom protecting what you've built. And protecting what you've built is an act of self-respect. You deserve honesty. You deserve clarity. You deserve to make decisions without pressure. The truth may not be exciting, but it is steady. And steady is what lasts. And that dignity matters more than any check.